Well, hello there, welcome back to another PS5 tips and tricks video. This is why you shouldn't buy PS5 Digital Edition. In this video, I'll go over the pros and cons of the PS5 Digital Edition versus the PS5 Disc Edition. If you're new here, you should subscribe not to miss out on that sweet PS5 knowledge. Let's get into it. So the primary reason why some new PS5 owners may go for the PS5 Digital Edition is the huge £100/$100 price difference. It might also be for aesthetic purposes, since the Digital Edition is bilaterally symmetrical, which human brains like, unlike the Disc Edition, or that you no longer have to have a cluttered shelf full of game cases, and if you're a little tight for cash, then that $100/pounds could make all the difference. You also don't lose any performance for the Digital Edition, unlike the Xbox Next Gen Digital Edition. However, the lack of disk drive has its own enormous caveat. You are essentially chaining yourself to the PlayStation Store, as the only way to get games onto the console is to download them from the PS Store onto the hard drive. From a purely financial point of view, by skimping out on the £100/$, you essentially shoot yourself in the foot by excluding yourself from very many sources of buying games, and therefore lots of different deals, and a video game console is pretty useless without any video games. Now, if you saw my how to get PS5 cheaper video, which you can see in the card in the top right hand corner now, then you know that there are very many great ways you can get games cheaper for both disc and digital. But there are vastly more avenues and much greater potential for savings further down the line by having stores that sell disc copies available to you. By going for the PS5 Digital Edition, you will preclude yourself from buying any used/pre-owned games from stores like Game, Kex, or GameStop if you're in the US. These games, which can still be in very good condition and be as good as buying brand new if there were no extra freebies that came with the game on launch, and these games are always a fraction of the full recommended retail price, often upwards of 50% saving. So over the course of a generation, which is about 7 years, there will be many games that you may want to play, but you can't pick them up until the prices drop. As we've seen before, the price drop is significantly smaller for the PS Store than physical video game stores. You also cannot trade in games or swap them with your friends. Now, there are places other than the PS Store that you can get cheaper PS5 games for the Digital Edition by way of digital code purchases. These shops are few and far between, far less than physical games. Overall, you will lose far more than the $100/$100 by choosing the Digital Edition over the Disc Edition. Remember, it takes the big tech companies around 7 years to develop a new generation of console. Time needs to be allowed for technology to progress, and if you bought, say, one game per month, and say you spent £10/$10 extra per game, which is conservative at best, you'd lose £840/$840 over the course of the PS5 generation. Let's look at some examples. Death Stranding is normally £44.99 on the PS Store or equivalent. It's currently on a deal for £41.49 on the PS Store. On Amazon, it's $39.95, which is already cheaper than the deal on the PS Store. And if you watched my How to Get Games Cheaper video, then you know this site called Idealo. On here, it's $31.85, so that's £10 off the deal price on the PS Store, which is mad. Let's look at another example, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is on a PS Plus deal for $13.49, which is very cheap, but you need to factor in the $49.99 that you'll pay for the membership for PS Plus. So the game is normally $44.99 on the PS Store. On Amazon, it's only $16.99, and Idealo says Amazon is the best price, which is not surprising for an EA game. This is an interesting one where disc and digital prices actually very closely match, but only if you have PS Plus. And even then, depending on how many PS Plus games you play, or other deals you capitalise on, you could be paying up to £63.49 for that deal. Let's look at one more example. Life is Strange True Colours is $32.49 on a deal, and it's normally $49.99. On Amazon, it's £36, which is cheaper than the normal price, but not as good as the deal on the PS Store currently. But the thing is, you never know when these deals are going to be on. Alright, on Idealo, Life is Strange True Colours is £27.95, which is even cheaper than the PS Store deal. That's just 3 games, okay? The total maximum saving for those 3 deals combined is £63.18 or equivalent currency. That's more than half the price difference between disc and digital. So if you bought disc, you already would have made a saving, or if you bought digital, you would have made a loss. Furthermore, you're also depriving yourself of an awesome video game case collection. Now, I know I said that you can avoid a cluttered shelf, but there are far more of us that would prefer an awesome video game collection like this than an empty shelf for your awesome man/woman cave. Now let me know in the comments down below what PS5 you have, disc or digital, if you even have one. If you don't, I made a video on how you can increase your chances of getting one. It's in the card on the top right corner now. If you gained value from this video, you should subscribe. I have got a whole bunch more like this in the pipeline that can take your PS5 experience to the next level. Click the icon on the left to see another video picked just for you by the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you in the next one.